Okay, when we left off last time, we had set up some variables for hits, misses, and ratio. And what I had left off was that in order to calculate the ratio, we actually need to do one more variable for attempts. So just pull out or duplicate another variable and change it to the word attempts. Okay. So in order to have it calculate the hits, what you want to do, and so you've got hits, misses, attempts, and ratio are all initialized to 0 to start. In order for it to calculate the hits, what you want it to do is over here where it says when water balloon sprite collided with, you've got if get other equals target sprite. So if it hits the target, it's going to change the score +1 and change the score label +1. You want to also change the hits. Change global hits to, I'll just pick this one up and change that to hits +1. Okay, so that's going to increase our hits. Now, to calculate the misses is a little bit different. So you need to come down to, you want to come down here to water balloon edge reached, and you're gonna put this code in, set global misses to global misses +1, but you want it to do it when the edge is 3 or -3. That, in other words, it's going to either side. It's not hitting the target. So we're going to get a control, and we're going to get an if then. We're going to pop that in here. Okay. And we'll pick that up. We're going to put that inside the then part. Okay, so we want if, and we're going to go to the logic drawer, and we're going to do or. So if, and then we got to do math. We need 2 maths, so we're going to just duplicate that. We'll put that here. Okay, so if duplicate, okay, we're going to put that, and we want this one to say, oh no, let me throw that away because we don't want a variable here. We want this one. We're going to do get edge. So get edge, and then we need a number. So I'll just duplicate this one, and we want to do 3 or -3. If you want to, if you want to have it calculate or take off points when somebody misses the target, which was one of your options, you can add in this right here. Okay, you don't want the logic one this time. You just want if get edge equals 1, then you can set global misses to 1, and then you need to duplicate set global score to score. Okay, whoops, we need to use the -1 for this one, so we need to swap out our math. So let me pull this out. Global score -1. Okay, so this is if you want to have it subtract points or decrement points when it misses. Okay, now that subtracts the points, but that doesn't show the change in the score. So you've got to get that score code. Let me see right here. Okay, you want to get this one. Duplicate. Okay, so we're going to do set score label to score label join score. Okay, so that should now, when I lose, when I miss, it's going to show that I lose a point, and it's going to update the score. And then hopefully when we finish the game, it'll take us to our screen where it's going to calculate our hit-miss ratio. Okay, so now we need to come back down to the clock. And so I didn't notice that my time ran out on the last video, and I had done this already. So the first thing we want to do is you want to get the variable set global attempts, and you want to add the hits and the misses together so that you can figure out how many attempts you have. Okay? And then you want to, once you know how many hits you have, or how many attempts you have, to get the ratio, you want to do hits divided by attempts. Okay? Now, that's going to give you a decimal, which isn't very nice. And of course, you want a percentage of what your hit-miss ratio is. So you're going to want to multiply it by 100. Okay, so that's going to give you your percentage. Now, the thing is, when we change to another screen, the app forgets all the information that you have stored on this screen. So all of these variables that we've been storing and the information that we've been storing, it just kind of gets wiped away. It's like its brain forgets everything. So we have to add in something called a TinyDB, which is something that will store information from screen to screen. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the designer, okay, and we're going to go to down here, we're going to go to storage, and we're going to pull out TinyDB, and we're going to drop it onto screen 1. Now, it's one of those non-visible components, so it doesn't show up. And then we're going to go to screen 2, and we're going to pull out another TinyDB for screen 2. Okay. All right, let's go back to screen 1. Okay, so in order for it to store our information when we go from screen 1 to screen 2, when the game finishes, we need to go down here to TinyDB. Okay, and we're going to get it to store a value. Okay. And we want it to store, okay, so we're going to have it store hits. And we're going to do each one of these as a separate one. Hits. Okay, so we're going to duplicate. We'll do misses. And duplicate one more time. And do ratio. And do ratio. Alright, now we're going to throw that all in here down at the bottom. So that's going to make it store all of our information. And then when it runs out of time, it's going to go to screen 2. Alright, so now if we go to screen 2, go to the TinyDB, and we want it to get the value. Okay, we want to initialize all of our variables on this page. So we're going to have hits, and we're going to do this call to hits. Okay, and then if it's not there, we'll just put the number 0. Okay, and then we're going to duplicate this for the others. So misses, oops, misses, and we're going to write it misses, and then let's duplicate it for ratio. Okay. Okay, so next we're going to get the labels and have the labels change. So we're going to get set hits label, and then we're going to get the join, and then we're going to get a regular text, and then we're going to get the variable, and we're going to change this to say hits, and then change that to say hits. Then we'll duplicate it, change that to misses, misses, change that to misses, duplicate, change that to ratios, and call this hit, miss, ratio, and change that to ratio. Okay, so that displays everything except for the button to send us back to screen 1. So we're going to do when try again button, click, and we're going to go to control, and we're going to do open another screen, screen name 1. Okay, so this sets everything up pretty much how it asks for. The only thing that's not shown on this screen that you may or may not want to add is the losses, and then I didn't do the when you're hitting either side of the target, if you get different points for hitting one side or the other of the target. So because I've walked you through this whole thing, in order for you to get the best grade possible, what you should do is make sure that you have named everything correctly, that you have formatted everything, that all of the properties are done correctly and it looks nice, and then maybe do some extra things like adding sound or changing backgrounds or changing images to make it more customized and unique looking. And if you do those kind of things, then that would, of course, improve your grade.